Welcome to the Three Body Narrative Podcast. Welcome to the Three Body Narrative Podcast. Welcome to the Three Body Narrative Podcast. We are your hosts, Pradyum, Aaron, and Naeem. We're finally back, and we are here to review, rate, discuss the recent Korean romantic, dramatic movie, Even If This Love Disappears Tonight. So, what is this movie all about? Well, it is a Japanese rom-com, right? About a boy who agrees to a fake relationship with a girl whose memories reset every night. As love blossoms, they cling to the present, knowing tomorrow may erase it all. As they say, kal ho na ho. Uh, yes. Now let's start. Before we discuss the movie in great detail, it's surprising that we're doing a rom-com back to back. But surprisingly, I think we've done quite a few of these in the past. So I'm intrigued to hear what your thoughts are. So we'll start with our ratings. Naeem?
Cool. By the way, I think we kind of missed a chance with using this whole memory aspect thing and kind of saying like the last 2 weeks were a result of us having the what is it called? Antigrade memory loss? Is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Antigrade amnesia.
Amnesia.
Anterograde amnesia, right? Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
And anterograde. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anterograde.
So,
Anterogate.
yeah. And that's basically in our memory the last 2 weeks the miss did not happen. So anyway, okay, in terms of the movie,
Yeah.
okay, I really love the emotional payoff in this movie. In fact, I feel like it was a lot heavier than I initially expected it to be. I love this whole aspect of the movie, which is more about what makes life meaningful when like tomorrow is really uncertain, kind of a thing, right? But it's not something that's quite new per se, because you've kind of seen this done before. Again, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is the 51st Dates a movie, right? But
51st Dates.
Yeah. But with regards to this movie, I don't think it's even inspired from that. It's from a novel, or apparently there's a OG Japanese movie as well.
Okay.
I didn't know, but yeah, I'm guessing that's one to watch at some point, perhaps. But yeah, the performances definitely for me were very memorable. I love the way. Again, I keep forgetting the name of the. Wait, let me just. I do have the name of the characters noted down. So Jaewon is the guy. Seyun is the girl, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Seyun, yes, yeah.
Seyun, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce the name. So forgive me, people. But I like the lead performances for sure. Even the friends that were around them. They're very believable relationships for me. I think it was very grounded, the performance and all. So also, I love the fact that it kind of, again, like not having watched the trailer, so you don't really know too much to expect, except like in the initial bit, I'm like, oh, is this supposed to be just like 51st Dates, right? So it's more like a rom-com than anything else. But the movie surprises with you with like a very, very major twist at some point. And I guess that twist is what makes this movie a 4 out of 5 for me. So again, like, I mean, I was torn between a 3.5 or a 4, but I think considering that having finished the movie, I immediately felt like I need to kind of tell a few people to watch this movie, meant that I really kind of thought highly of this movie personally. Again, that it's romance, so there's obviously always that bias. So and yeah, I mean, obviously, I gave Sayara a 4, if I'm not wrong, or 3.5.
Yeah.
But I mean, in comparison, I would peg Sayara down to a 3 now to this movie.
Only.
There is a God.
There is a cut, right? But obviously, it was fun to see some sort of parallels in certain characters which are there in Sayara. Obviously, the memory aspect you see in
Yeah.
Sayara, but even the father story that's there, there is a bits and pieces, not to the extent that Sayara goes through, but in that bit, right? So yeah, all in all, like definitely um one of those movies where I would recommend, like if romance is the genre we're looking at, I'd think, like especially from a Korean um uh, uh language movies, I think this would be one of the first ones that I would, because I've seen, like I've not watched them, but I've seen trailers of Crash Landed on You or some of the others
Mm,
that have, but I've never really kind of felt this thing towards. I might be wrong. I might go back at some point and see these movies and actually feel like, okay, no, they might be better or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think stand. This is definitely one of the better ones that I've watched, and I would definitely recommend this to all of you out there who've not watched this
Awesome. All right. Oh, perfect that we've got Aaron to follow up on this.
movie.
Uh, I I found it an interesting movie. I'll give it that. I think if I was going to rate it, I'd probably say I'd give it a 3. Uh, for a lot of the reasons that Naeem mentioned with regards to the acting and stuff like that, I think all the characters did a pretty decent job to make those characters believable. And so I think the bulk or the major reason for my rating would probably be just the performances of those actors in the movie. Story wise, I think, like Naeem said, I don't think it was anything new. And I think at some point you kind of already know where the movie is headed. I think Naeem mentioned that there was like this kind of a moment in the movie where, you kind of then are able to suss out what the rest of the movie is going to be. And so it wasn't the most it wasn't something which you would be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen at the end of all this, or how is it going to play out. But yeah, I think in terms of the emotion that the movie was trying to kind of capture or make the audience feel, I think they kind of achieved that. And so I think 3 is, I think I'm being fair with that sort of rating.
Okay. All right. So then I'm gonna complete this puzzle and I'm gonna rate this a 3.5. Right. Uh, I was also torn between a 3.5 and 4, but I think the maximum I've given something is probably a 4. Can't recall unless I've given something 4.5. But I think 3.5 is quite a fair rating from my end. I think the performances, I love the chemistry between the two main characters, really believable. I think both of them played off perfectly well. Him as the shy, introverted character, she as the sort of quirky, fun, but also tragic character in a way, right? And so I think I really enjoyed that entire aspect. It was fun. I love the story. I love the sort of romantic side of things, and love the dates that they were going on, and the fun that they were having. And I like the fact that he was making an effort to, obviously after learning about this character's uh, sort of illness, just the fact that he was always there for her. I did sort of expect something tragic at the end. I didn't know how it was going to play out, but there was a moment where I was like, huh, what was this all about? Right. And then later it came to be like, oh, right. Because at that moment, I thought about it for like a minute or two. I didn't give it much thought at that point, because I'll tell you why later on. But yeah, so that was a nice twist. And it was really, like, really interesting after that twist happens to what happened, and you kind of like what piecing stuff together. So that was really nice. I think the only thing maybe I thought was missing was, so initially there is that point where it's about bullying, and he obviously, the movie starts, or the premise starts because of a sort of dare given by his eventual friend, right? Like a frenemy of sorts. Now the thing is, the sort of desk mate that he calls, right? I already had, and I thought that was going to be the budding friendship that we were going to see, and there were very small glimpses of it, and I was like, oh, this is nice. We're going to see a lot more of that. And I felt that kind of just went sideways, and it didn't do anything apart. Even with him giving him the juice box and everything, right? Like it just felt like, yeah, I guess that's one of your one-sided relationships, I guess. Like because the main character didn't care much. He was just didn't want his desk to be dirty, right? Even when Soyun said that, oh, you were a good friend, he straight away says that he isn't my friend, he's just my desk mate. So whereas the other guy makes an effort to kind of say that I'm sorry and give him the juice box and stuff like that. So I expected that. I'm not unhappy with that he became friends with the bully, because that guy was a really the comedy angle to this entire movie. But yeah, I just felt that that little sort of friendship could have been, I think, explored. But yeah, we didn't have time for that. So I guess that with that being said, let's maybe get the plot twist out of the way, right? Because we don't want to,
So when
extend
did
that.
you guys pick up on the plot twist?
The bus
Pick up
scene.
on the plot twist at all?
Yeah,
The bus scene.
the
Okay,
bus scene.
yeah.
So the bus scene, I actually was jokingly, obviously, when I'm watching it, sometimes I just blurt out stuff. So when he ran and he's like, huh? So I thought, like, dude's gonna get a heart attack then and there. Right? I jokingly said that. I didn't know that was eventually gonna happen. So I jokingly said that. But also, that was for a second. But later on, I also thought he did say, I'm not great at sports. He always used to sit on the sidelines. Now,
Yeah.
coming to think of it, there's a good reason why he wasn't playing sports, right? But given that he was sitting on the sideline, I just thought this guy is just like, he's not athletic, so he's just like lost breath. But that was the point where I was like, something's off. Like, why are you panting and heaving that much? You didn't even run a lot.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. But understandable, I suppose. Yeah. Plus, he was
Hmm.
like, I mean, he was fit, not someone who
He-
was over. So why would he have that
Okay.
short list?
Yeah,
Consciousness.
I suppose so. But it's a nice take on it. I guess it also was cool that I think both of them were using each other. I think both of them knew. I mean, from her standpoint, she just wanted to try something new. Given that she wouldn't recall it the next day, if it wasn't great, it's not like she was going to write it in a journal or something like that, right? Or she'd probably write in the journal, say, "Stay away from this person. Avoid."
What? Yeah. J1, avoid.
Yeah. And so I wonder though if that's what, like, when people asked her out, like, was it like, what did she, no, but it couldn't have been that she went out with them earlier or sorts. Yes, that couldn't work. I was just wondering, like, did she then say avoid? But then they would know. Why would they keep coming up with her with flowers? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I was just wondering if there was an instance initially where he had proposed to her or he had gone out with her or something like that, and then she just didn't talk to him, so that's why he didn't want to ask her out or something like that, or kind of wanted. Initially, that's what my like that's where I was at, but then obviously it's not the case. It's different.
Yeah, so it was interesting to see that dynamic, that obviously she's doing it for this reason, and until later we didn't know that he's probably doing it for, I mean, like, he was kind of being this introverted shy guy because he didn't want to get into a relationship, but he just thought, like, hey, let's just kind of enjoy the last few moments or days or months of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for me also, like, I mean, obviously, that was the first. I mean, I don't like it. It was kind of weird that he kept having this thing where like he kept saying he can't do sports and all of that stuff, and then the sudden burst of run and all of that stuff. Something was definitely off, kind of a thing. But like even knowing all of that, when the eventuality of it comes, and that's when like she starts seeing him in you see him in the pictures that she's drawing and stuff. My hope at that point was this guy's undergoing treatment. Like I really wanted him like still alive to a certain extent, and when it turns out he was already gone, my god, my heart sank to this whole other level, and I was like, man, I knew this was coming, but I was like, I don't know, like I still feel like I felt it, kind of a thing,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and kudos to the movie for like for me. I mean, it's not that difficult, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was like,
if
what are you
But
giving kudos for? Like,
yeah, but I don't know about you guys, but I genuinely felt like sadness of the fact that he's already gone. They can't have another conversation, kind of a thing, like, and he's been wiped from her memory.
that was
And
the
yeah,
tearjerker of sorts of the sadness bit,
yeah,
right? Like the fact that I
yeah,
think I don't know. So initially, when obviously they kiss after the fireworks, and then suddenly the next day they're in school and he's not there, I just thought he's just gone somewhere else. Initially, right? The initial thing was, yeah, he's. I don't know. Maybe he's just kind of moved. Obviously, with whatever is happening in his personal life, he just kind of moved. And even the fact that when she said, "Oh, it was nice that the three of us went," I just thought that you know, obviously someone has erased something that he does that she doesn't remember. But yeah, to see what the reason was quite unexpected. And yeah, that's sad, right? Like you to first to not remember what's happening, and I like the fact that both of them were trying to make a conscious effort to help themselves. Like he obviously was reading up a lot about the sort of what was it called? The other memory, the what is it called? The one where she draws and then she realizes that she can draw because it's not connected to her mind, but it's on the
yeah,
body.
yeah.
Progressive memory or something like that. I don't know what is it called.
No, but I know what you're talking about. The whole
Yeah,
thing of it's to do with the this thing, right? Where your body also has that, what do you say, muscle memory kind of a thing.
muscle
It's a muscle
memory.
memory.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So muscle memory. So I like that the fact that that was being done. He was also reading upon this amnesia and trying to see how you could sort of build the hippocampus hippocampus back, right? And I like the fact that there was an effort from her side as well, because you don't know, obviously, it's like when she saw the effort being made, or she also wanted to kind of, get better, right? You don't want to be stuck in this thing. And a lot of people might just be okay living in this, with the condition of, with the situation that they had. But it was nice to see that, both of them were trying to sort of heal each other in a way. Okay, just one question though, because we're already sort of towards the end of the film. So the first time that they meet is in a clinic, but she
Yeah.
doesn't know about it.
No.
Yeah, she's going for MRI. He's obviously doing something for his heart.
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, what a way fate and all of that has to play about, right? Like,
He doesn't see her. She sees them, right?
yeah. She's the one who writes his name because she sees the badge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no,
He
but
doesn't know.
he does. I think he looks at her. If
Does he?
I'm
yeah.
No.
not.
They do look at each other. Yeah, yeah. There is a moment or whatever
Yeah.
where they both look at each other.
I mean, it's cool to know
It,
that. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it wasn't like a moment of significance at that point, but it was just like a brief look at each other because they were the only two on that bench or row of seats or whatever.
Yeah, I think they were the only two students, I guess. Also, I don't remember if
Hmm.
anyone else was students. So yeah, yeah. But it's fascinating to know that maybe somewhere like somewhere out there you've already met the one, perhaps, but you just never knew it until you finally do.
Star-crossed. What is that? Star-crossed lovers? Is that what they call
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know if that's what you call for this.
it? Well, I
Yeah.
mean, fate brought them together, right? In this case, to a certain extent.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's obviously, I guess, when he asked her out the first time, perhaps there was some sort of maybe a part to play with her saying okay, because why else? Like, she didn't know that he was doing it for for his friend or his desk mate. So it's not like she went out with him because she knew he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just that you just have an inkling that meant to be together, I suppose.
Yeah.
Till
Because she
death.
decided I'm going to say it yesterday.
Yeah.
It
Till,
could have been anyone.
yeah. Unfortunately, it is this, or I don't know. Fortunately, or unfortunately,
Fortunately.
it's this guy. Yeah.
Fortunately. I mean,
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that they were meant to be together until death do us part, and that certainly happened. So
yeah, before the vows themselves. So
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this illness, right? So because this is a very curious illness, like I think with w- Sayara, where we watched it, was like like a very early onset dementia. So she started losing her mind. I mean, right from the start of the
altogether,
movie, but all through, but
altogether. Yeah.
altogether. But she progressively lost her mind. Here, it's a curious thing of sort of like Groundhog Day, where you wake up and it's the same day all over again, right? Um,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've obviously seen this already I don't know where you guys would have seen this. First time I came across this amnesia was in 51st dates, obviously. So first 51st dates, right? That's
yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah.
Six. Yeah, so, I mean, but it was called something else, I think, in that, because I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I do remember some accident she gets into because of some cow comes in the way or some shit like that. It was funny. Obviously, it's a rom-com, so but I believe it's the same because even she resets back onto like a certain day where
Post
she's
the
kind of
accident.
the accident, and then it's like a blur. Anything after that is like a blur for her. She's still stuck there, and it's the same thing with her as well. um so actually, I mean, reading up on this, I figured out what the differences or the different kind of amnesias are, in which this is like and anterograde amnesia, and then there's retrograde amnesia, where it's like anything before the accident is completely forgotten, and only so yeah, quite interesting read on that. But I mean, yeah, definitely something that was explored before, but not in this. Like, that was more funny. This was more serious in a certain way. Obviously, it was heartening to see all of the dates that they're on and things like that. But you still feel, if I felt a more emotional, a heavier emotional feel when it came to like just seeing her life in general.
Hmm.
Uh, there was this, I don't know, this inherent feeling of emptiness in a certain way, or like I don't know exactly how to define it, but like there was this sadness that I kept feeling looking at her life, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because you can't like even if it's the best day in in your life, right? You
Yeah,
will not ever remember it.
yeah, and the thing is, the gap between where she's stuck and where she's at every day just keeps growing. So how many pages can she write down? I mean, obviously she can write down
It's
one page. How much
technology.
of it can she read
Yeah,
in the this thing?
Yeah.
You need ChatGPT to summarize everything that's happened. Or I mean, any AI software. Let's not promote any specific ones. Can
yeah.
you like wipe that off? What
We'll
I
we'll
said, but
sleep through it, and then yeah, we'll do the Men in Black thing of like
yeah, wipe that.
red light. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I really like that aspect of it feeling more emotionally grasping for me. Like when, as I did again, like obviously I've not watched 51st in like a decade, if not more. So who knows? Maybe it might feel different now.
No, I what fell for me is like obviously there are a lot of these rom coms which deal with a lot of illnesses and issues and stuff like that, right? Now, after a while, especially when this whole memory thing happened, the first thought was because we've reviewed it was like, oh no, not this again, right? And then I was
Mm.
like, but I was pleasantly surprised that I did not get bored of the fact that she kept forgetting, and it just felt like you felt happy for her when things were going well, and then you're like, oh shucks, she's forgotten about it, right?
Yeah.
And like, and that's probably of real, yeah, it's bullshit because like you think of the best times that you or we've had in our lives, and you're like, shit. Now imagine that we can't remember that at all, or the only piece of memory that we have is just a note, right, signifying it. And so that was like, shit, that is insane. That's like an illness that, I mean, it'll be like crazy to experience, but even so, you don't want to do that because like, and also I okay, so just between us, it's like there was a part of me that was thinking that the J1's mother was part of that entire accident. Okay, and I was like, they're gonna connect it somehow, and
Like
he's
she
going,
was the reason for this.
yeah. And I don't think it was going to be like a revenge story of sorts, but for a second I was like, that was going to break their relationship apart.
Definitely a lot of
Uh,
Bollywood movies you've been watching.
I think we need to work on this script.
might make
Instead of rom-com, it becomes slasher thriller. Let's go.
did not see the twist coming.
You definitely did not see that twist coming. No, but honestly, it did feel because, and also oddly, it's like when he looked at his mother's photo, it oddly looked like Thor, right?
The what?
It oddly looked
No,
like Sayon. But I don't think we should say that. It just look. I'm
yeah.
I'm not being racist here by
Yeah,
saying they all
I was
look
just
alike.
going to say, you just turned us into racists. Like, wow. Okay.
Oh, it did, but it's in the photo and it was a little far away for a second. I was like, oh, maybe it's. Sometimes people say that you date people who look like your mother, so I thought maybe it was.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Uh, okay, so right now we know what our 3-minute reel would be. Okay, so no, but that being said, that was okay. But that being said, yeah, it was a sad thing to go through, and it's a, you know what who I feel worse for. Like I feel bad for the girl. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad
The
for the
best friend who had to hide all that stuff.
best friend. No, I felt
The
bad for the father. Yeah, the father who's got whose mother, whose wife. Sorry, not mother, but
And what's with being stuck on the mother whose wife looked like his mother?
no. So
So he thinks it's like a hereditary thing. The father married the wife who looked like his mother.
The son has to marry his wife who looks like his mother, who looks like his grandmother.
Dad, I've got a solution for the two of us. I found a girl that looks like your wife.
which is why he was very interested in if she's pretty or not, because it's like she look like
that's why the father also said.
Oh my god!
That's why the father also said that she looks pretty.
Yeah. Okay. No, but that being said, yeah, I felt really bad for the father because like losing his wife, right? And then having a son who's got a weak heart and who at any point in time could have, could collapse and die, right? That's sad. But with that being said, he's quite, like you said, it's probably there are slight elements of it from Sayar where he's quite a negligent father of sorts, right? And especially when he first comes into the scene and he comes to the house and he doesn't eat his dinner, the dinner that his son has prepared, and he just goes like almost like a drunkard there. And that was like, oh, I was picturing, yeah, this is not gonna end well. But there are nice glimpses when they two talk to each other about the mother and stuff like that. And then yeah, I just wish maybe we could have explored a little more also on the father and just so why he didn't do his photography thing a little more. I think there was I guess we know the reason per se, but yeah, I don't know. I just felt like the father was also a very interesting character with what's happened and how he's dealing with all of this. But again, it's a movie, so you don't have time to really explore all of these.
Yeah.
I think the way I saw the whole photography thing with the father, and also the aspect of his relationship with the son, I was wondering, like, after the movie and having seen the twist, if he intentionally kept a little bit of distance between himself and his son to not feel
The loss as much.
eventuality of the loss. He does not get lost even further than he already is, right? And I also felt that maybe the choice to not pursue the art thing, the photography thing, could probably be because it would require him to travel, perhaps, or like be away for a while, and perhaps while he didn't want to be actively present in every aspect of his son's life, he was also wary of perhaps like in future he might not be around at all to be with, and that was my takeaway from it. And like I think I kind of understood the dad a little more. Again, like I didn't think that was the best way in the way he was dealing with the
Yeah.
whole scenario, but that's how I could kind of empathize with him, I suppose.
Just coming to it, actually, just remembering what happened. So when Jaewon does talk to Mr. Kim and he tells his dad, like, you should go out, you should enjoy, you should be this thing, right? Like, you should enjoy your life, forget about mom, move on, and do like that. So in that point, or during that conversation, I was like, why isn't he saying like we'll go out, or we'll spend time, right? And it just hit me like, yeah, there was never going to be a we for a wrong to say it. There was never going to be both of them together. Both of them are never going to be together for a long haul. So I guess even the son knew that, and he just wanted the father to just continue with his life and not just hold back because of, I guess, the mother as well as himself, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought once J1 passed away, I was like, this dude is gone. Like, the son was cooking, the son was folding his clothes, the son was doing all of it. This dude is like, he's lost it. He's not going to be doing anything, right? Like, and
Yeah.
but yeah, that's that scene where his clothes are hanging or his uniforms hanging, where the kids are there. First of all, a bit harsh, right? To just have the clothes hang there, where like, see, we live. But yeah, I mean, it definitely hit hard. It definitely was like, shit. Yeah, what if this happens to you, or what happens? Yeah, so that's sad. But he was the character for whom I felt the most like, after knowing the fact, I was like, shit, man, you were not only going through the loss of your wife, but like the fact that you could
Your
lose your
kid as well.
son. Yeah. Which is why, people, you always have two kids.
Yeah.
At least
And make them travel separately.
Yeah.
that way, yeah. For sure. Um,
Huh.
I think okay. So I wanted to briefly touch. I'm guessing we're done with
Yeah,
this,
we're
right?
done with this. Yeah.
You brought this up of the friend that initially you thought would be the guy bullied, and the bully in itself. I like the aspect that they kind of went with the bully, and not just that, but also the fact that the bully is getting bullied at one point. And I really like how that came to be. Also, the fact that like like deep down, not necessarily a bad person, but for whatsoever reason, I mean, he's still a young child. I mean, a young kid at that point, still a teenager, I suppose. So I think kind of
Yeah.
see him change his ways once he starts hanging out with this guy. Obviously, driven by ulterior motives
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
of why he's hanging out with the guy to begin with, I suppose. But I guess you kind of see I think what is more heartening is to see him still around when J1 is eventually gone, kind of a thing, right? Like, and I think that is the part where their friendship is solidified for me. Like, it wasn't just about this thing. He's there for that part as well. Like, he does kind of miss him and stuff like that, which is
Yeah.
obviously not focused per se, but it's kind of spoken off the screen in the way it's portrayed. So I really like that bit. And yeah, I think it would have been like the obvious where this guy is like he's he's helping him out. He's the alpha or whatever, which is definitely not the case in this movie, right?
Yeah.
While he's trying to help him out, he's easily able. Like he himself says that he would not be able to beat those guys or whatever it is, or run like, why didn't you run? And he kind of says, I think he couldn't run or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah,
we know.
all I like that. Sorry,
But he still managed to do a few baseball throws, right? Which I don't
Hmm.
think hit anybody. I think went right at the feet of everybody. So if anything, you were just scared of stepping on yogurt and milk or whatever that was.
Yeah. So what? That was like the backside area of the canteen, or where exactly was that they were at? And
Yeah,
is it a thing where they kind of have to take out the trash as students? Is that a job or something that they take? Any
maybe. I mean,
Maybe for like extra cash or something. Who knows?
yeah, because obviously the father isn't earning as much. He also is like, he told his dad, "You don't have money," but then he's like, "No, no, the store's doing well." So I'm guessing he does do part-time jobs in between to maybe get some
funds?
cash. Yeah. Uh, but I think you're right. I like the bully angle. I like that relationship that he had. Obviously, he is intrigued by the shy guy who's able to get Seyun's number and get her on a date, right? And he's like quite uh, sort of intrigued by his moves and his skill set. Because I think even the girl who he eventually likes, Jimin or whatever, what's her name? Wait, yeah, Jimin.
Jimin.
So even she, like when she takes Jaewon's phone and like starts typing, he looks from the window and he's like, shit, he's getting her number as well. So love triangle. Right? So he's quite. I think that premise to start the friendship was pretty hilarious, right? It wasn't that he just was he was he became friends just because he helped his desk mate or something. So it was a pretty fun way of becoming or starting that friendship. Yeah. But even throughout, I think he was always there. He was like, in any sort of thing, anything that J1 wanted to do for Seyun, he was there helping out the penguin stuff and all of that, right? So it was a
Yeah.
pretty fun
Again,
thing.
you have to question how much of that was for Jaewon's benefit as opposed to his own, because obviously he was
But
interested in.
yeah, but
in that.
Jimin really didn't. I mean, as much as both of them really wanted to see the penguin, I think Seyun wanted to see it more, and I felt like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that maybe have been genuine, but it was nice for him to that when he realized that Jimin was a fan of Mr. Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice. But I mean, talking about friendship, I think the other friend, Jimin's friendship with Seyun was, that is true friendship. The lengths to which you would go to protect your best
Yeah.
friend, right? It's insane. And I think I like the fact that again for her also, Jaewon was like initially a very sus person. She didn't know, but later on, he becomes so important that even the sight of his face on like a drawing on a paper brings her to tears.
Mm.
So that was really nice to see. I think overall, the four kids, I guess you're gonna call them. I don't know how old they probably are age playing teenagers, but even so, like for them to, I think I love the chemistry that they had. It's very believable that if when we were in school we had friends that way who you know
Yeah.
you'd
Yeah.
rely on and stuff like that. So yeah, that was
I think, yeah,
that was
I mean, Jimin definitely was one of the standout characters, and I like the relationship between her and Jaewon as well, especially where she's initially, like you mentioned, skeptical about him, and she does say that you would understand why, because obviously she forgets Seyun, so she just can't let anyone hang out with her, obviously, and that whole protective nature of her in terms of making sure her friends' best interests are always like the focus of this thing, considering everything she's gone through and stuff like that. But I also
yeah.
like that whole aspect of obviously that conversation that you see towards the end where they both
Hmm.
have one, but also that nod at just before the fireworks where she lets him go with her, kind of a thing, and distracts the other guy who's not smart enough to take a hint of sorts. kind of
Yeah.
a thing. So all of that was like really nice to see. Yeah, I think like very stark personalities and who they are as friends. Obviously, like the main character Seyun is more bubbly, more um friendlier approach, I suppose, and the other one, it I don't know if that is by default or it's because she's protective or trying to protect her that she's got that more le- sort of.
Yeah, I think she maybe lets her guard down towards the end, but initially it is a very protective sort of personality that she portrays. But also, I think Seyun is able to be a lot more like fun and bubbly. Maybe that's a personality, but also the fact that she doesn't know what's happened in the past. So for her, it's like a new day, so she's just enjoying it as a new day. But you're right. I think this could have been a very different story. It could have been like a 13 reasons why, and she doesn't know what happens the next day, right? Because even the time when she tells J1 about the amnesia, right, they both
Yeah,
decide that she doesn't write that down in the journal. Now he doesn't remember the fact, but he does. Like,
that
so
kind of reason on
yeah, so that's why I said it could have gone very dark, and because the other people and the other students will always remember what's happened, but she will not, right? And that's why the friend is even more so protective, because like rumors can spread, everything can happen. For Seyun, she'll not remember it because she's not going to write everything down in a diary, but the others will keep talking and blah blah blah, all of that stuff. So, but this whole pact that they make, um, this whole pact that they make about not writing in the journal, and the fact that she's not told, that she believes she's not told Jaewon about the amnesia, right?
Mm.
I don't think that works, right? Because later on they are very openly talking about memory and stuff like that. Like, so clearly, I don't know, that conversation did not have much of an impact.
right.
Because in on the beach, when they're talking about the shoelaces and everything, they're clearly hinting that she does not have she's going to forget about it, and that he will be there to tie her shoes and all of that. So I'm surprised that, I mean, I thought the whole point was so that she doesn't recall telling him about the amnesia, but later on it just seems like that anyway.
He does. I mean, when he says about the shoelaces and stuff, and again, it's taking me a while to place things because it's been a couple of weeks since we watched this. But from what I recall, with
Really,
the
I
shoe,
just thought it was yesterday.
oh yeah, right, nice.
Yeah.
So the shoelace bit, from what I remember, is to do with more like uh, in that moment of sorts, kind of a thing. More like you don't have to worry about tying them because I will like tie them for you. Not more in the sense that I think you'll forget about it anyway, so you don't have to worry about forgetting about it because I'll take care of it. It's just more of a like a romantic gesture of sorts that it's okay if you don't know how to kind of do that. I'll do it for you of sorts. At least I think
Mm.
that's what I call it. I don't know if you guys recall it
Mm.
otherwise. I mean, you
I
watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I did feel like there was something to do with the memory and the fact that they were discussing about, you know, because even when
The
it's the
part
draw,
is where they make those what is that thing that they make?
yeah,
Stained
the
glass.
stained glass.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think even then it is just more about gifting something to each other as opposed to like it having any sort of this
Yeah,
thing
that I
of
don't know, but I recall them having that conversation
but it's
about
very gentle, right?
yeah.
Like in this thing, like in a general romantic gesture, you kind of give people things that you want them to remember. That's not from the aspect that I'm not gonna be in your life.
No, so I think the stained glass, you're right. I don't think that has got anything. It was during that scene on the beach about the shoelaces, which they discussed about the memory, but but it just felt like at that point I was like, wait, did you just not have a conversation about not talking about it? But yeah, I don't know. Uh, so another thing I just realized. So this friend, right? Obviously, she deletes everything from the computer, and she's got photos or the drawings stacked up on the wall. right? She takes all of it out. I'm sure as like Seyun gets into her room, she's like, where the fuck are all these drawings? Because until she sleeps, she still remembers stuff. So you're like, what the fuck?
But didn't she take it out while she was sleeping? Like she took the phone from her hand while she was asleep, right, and replaced it.
Yeah,
At
possibly.
least that's what I remember. Like while she
And
was
obviously,
asleep, she takes the
she
phone.
could have easily been in cohorts with the parents. No, she could have said like, take her out or something because I need to kind of get rid of things.
Take her out is still fine.
No, but that's what he's saying. If you take her out, then she
No, take her
remembers that
out as in
something
like
is
for
missing.
the take her out for the weekend of sorts, like
Okay.
go away for the
Okay.
week or something like
Yeah.
that. But she has a sleepover per
Mhm.
se away from her, and her memory is like wiped clean, kind of. Not
Yeah.
say don't take her out.
Because when he said, but take her up, no, I didn't mean that take her up. Like, what is the other take her up? Tranquilizer. Like, stick her with a needle and let her sleep. But there is a silver lining, of course, that the ending does show that this illness can be slowly cured. There's no real reason for it, but of course, because of all the sort of memories and the constant thinking about it, all of it slowly starts to heal. The brain starts to
Yeah.
heal, but I don't think she. I think it's slowly healing. I still don't think by the end of the movie she's able to recapture everything from the past.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
she's just heading positively towards.
Yeah, she's probably just tracing her steps or something like that way to kind of figure a way out. But it was pretty cool that she eventually ends up with Mr. Kim or whatever. So you do know that there is some sort of thing that she has ends up as in yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
Mm.
I was like, she ends up with Mr. Kim. I was like,
At the store. Yeah.
The
For
father did say she was
yeah.
pretty.
Mission accomplished. That's what Javon wanted all along. But yeah,
Javon's death.
keep it in the family.
Okay. Javon's death was not a natural cause. It was the father getting
No.
him out of the
Mhm.
Oh, we've got a script on our hands, bro.
Yeah.
no. But yeah, that being said, when she said that, oh, I remember. No, I slept early last night. I actually had to go back to it like a couple of times because I forgot what it was like. What, because the parents looked at her like so startled, right?
Mm.
So I was like, "What is this about? Like, what are you looking startled?" Then I went back. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, because you wouldn't have realized that you slept yesterday early." So I'm like, "Yeah, fair." Yeah, by that time I was like,
Yeah, I think I have to go back a couple times for that.
"Yeah." So, anything else that we have left now for that?
No, right. We already discussed the father and son relationship. So
Mm.
I think pretty much covered everything we want to talk about.
Yes, I think. I mean, we've done a few romantic movies that we've reviewed. This is, I would say, on the better half of it than the worse half, right? Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've done four. So I'd say two are on the positive, two are probably on the.
Which are the four we've done by the way? I know
So,
Sayara is one.
Sayara's the one. I'm guessing People We Meet on Vacation would be
Oh
termed a
yeah.
romantic movie. This one and About Time.
Oh yes, of course, about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also has a cool thing about like memory and back and forth and just not being able
Yeah.
to.
Father-son relationship, but on a whole
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. So I think this had probably the better elements of a lot of these romantic movies, and I think it pulled it off. Obviously, it's based on a book, so I can't say that it's inspired from movies per se, but maybe the
You
book was
mentioned there are
inspired.
two other books. No?
Yeah, so there is. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, they are. Now the other two, I think, is even if what is this, tears disappear tonight or something. This is Even if love disappears. The other one is Even if tears disappear tonight, and I don't
I'm
know what
guessing
the
they
third.
cover the whole this thing of her memory coming back fold or something like that. Is it the same character that they're
Yes, I think the girl is still there. I don't think, I mean, obviously the boy is not there. So,
yeah, I would yeah.
Yeah.
Move away from the romance genre then. If the boy was coming back.
Yeah. No, so there is something I think to do with the earlier character.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's our review, rating, and discussion about even love, if the love disappears tonight. Yeah. Oh, even if this love disappears tonight. So
Then you
so
have
to
a
everyone watching, yeah, to everyone watching this review, please do hit the like button, share with friends and family, subscribe to the YouTube channel before you sleep tonight, because God knows what happens tomorrow. And we will catch you all on our next episode. Until then, see you.